Well, believe it or not, I came to the park and there in the distance is that elusive albino squirrel. I know, I can't really... I don't have a good enough camera to get up close to him. And I don't want to scare it away. Even though I think he would come over here. Oh, there he is. So cute. So, I was just thinking, well, there's other squirrels here too. And this camera is the weird one. Hey, I hope it's recording. I mean, volume, sound that is. And then there's the trees above me. But there's that squirrel again. I don't want to get any of the other people or things in the image. So I will just concentrate on this squirrel. And one of these days, not that I need it, I like this old camera that, you know, it does that weird thing. And people might think, well, why don't you get a camera that's more steady? It's like, why don't you do your own work and then have a critic tell you what to do? I can do whatever I want. I'm not beholden to anyone. It is fascinating that the white squirrel is somewhat solitary, like the others know that he's different. It's an interesting cultural, thing. Wait, one is approaching now. Nope. He tends to lead a solitary life, this white one. Just hopping from, well, I imagine he's gathering nuts. And if you could think about that, I don't know, maybe try to put a different spin on it, like maybe he's gathering information away from the other squirrels, because I see the other squirrels, well, now they're further apart than, well, we'll see if they get together and play with each other. They seem to be doing their own things, though. Interesting. They know they're being watched, though. One met me in the park when I came to the park and looked at me like... I noticed that they do share the same trees, though. I just saw the white one climb up with another one on the tree. Oh, now they're chasing each other. Yeah, I see. They're like, I do not want this albino squirrel in this tree with me. That poor albino squirrel. I would have him in my home. And then all the other squirrels would be mad. Oh. It's fascinating looking at squirrels because they have kind of some, you know, they're playful and then they have independent natures too. You could think of them at play like how you think of people at work. And then they go off to lunch, gathering up their little food, and off they go. Well, or off they go home in their solitary vehicles. Now I see they're fighting. And the white one made it up the tree by itself. The white one's beautiful. Albinos usually have those beady red eyes. I haven't seen his eyes yet, though. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I want to get that close to him. I think he's checking out where the other squirrels are. It's fascinating. I feel like I'm on this field trip, this cultural field trip about squirrel behaviors. Not that I have never... I noticed the behaviors in the past, but I've never been so fascinated by them. You know, squirrels are smart. They gather their nuts and they bury them. And then they know where they are in the winter when it's cold. You've never seen a squirrel go hungry in the winter. Not with nuts buried everywhere. And I'm looking for their nests. I'm wondering where they are. I don't see them. I do not see them. We could think of their nests being somewhat similar to apartments. You know, they make themselves comfortable. Unlike apartment dwellers, though, squirrels tend to stay with what's needed instead of what's wanted. Just warmth of other squirrels, usually. It's strange. While they're doing their hunting and gathering, they are not socializing too much. They're dead set on one mission. And they're quite good at it. I've been noticing. Some of them may even be eating grass. Huh. It's strange because I'm looking and seeing what's on the... Oh, it looks like somebody left peanuts down here. Of course, their behavior might be a little bit skewed by all the foot traffic of the people. Or maybe they're just, conditioned to respond to people in their environments. Oh, so they become fearless of people. It's a smart adaptation method that squirrels have. And they are not afraid of me at all. I mean, I saw one in the garbage can today and he just popped his head out and was like, and just looked at me like, you got something for me? And I was like, no, not today. It's different too, to get a different perspective of the area in which squirrels live. And they're different. Like, I'm counting around me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one in a tree. He almost looks like a black one. 9. So 9 squirrels around me. Well, really 8, and then that albino one. And we could call the albino squirrel an outlier. Not that he's a genetic mutation, because I would hate to think of him like that. Or an outcast, because I'd like to see them when they're done foraging. See how their behavior is then. I would show you, but there's people in the way. And I don't want to get images of them mixed in with the squirrel population. But it seems that they have no problem intermingling with the people around. They just go about their business. Even to look at them and check out what's going on. I'm fascinated now with this albino one. He's got the bushiest tail too. I wonder if albino squirrels have bushier tails than normal squirrels. Should look into that on the internet. I know, it's like, what are you doing with your time? I could be doing a lot of different things. But my fascination with albino squirrels has, it's gone back a ways. Like I said, I knew of other nesting homes of the albino squirrel. One in South Minneapolis, one in North Minneapolis, and now here in Loring Park. So, other people may not think that the albino squirrel is that fantastic. but most definitely it is. Yeah. It's kind of cornered in the tree now, and I want to see how they interact together. It reminds me of this albino ferret. No, there again, he prefers the solitude of... There he goes. He prefers solitude. And that, well, that may be because he's different than the other squirrels, and they sense that. It would be interesting to know how squirrels smell. You know, they make that screeching noise. And they almost at times seem to be washing their hands in the grass, or rolling something in their little hands. I'm fascinated about that behavior now too. Like, is cleaning their hands before they eat, is that something is that a trait that other squirrels have? And now I'm going to have to squirrel population once in a more rural area and see if they're more timid or more... Well, we'll see one day. Since doing research, sometimes you have to go and do it where you're at. But then you also have to be cognizant that there are variables that you cannot control. So what do you think the variables in the squirrel population are around here that you cannot control? Well, you're right. Interactions with people. And car traffic. Availability of food is another one. People feeding the squirrels. All of this might interfere with their natural life cycles. The hand washing thing is fascinating though. Now I lost track of the albino. I do not know where he went. I'm assuming that it's a he though. But there may be some genetic mutations in albinos that make them more prone to be of one sex or the other. I'm sure squirrels don't have words for gender or sex, so they're probably just... They do. Maybe speciesist by saying that. So I will take that back. I'll retract that statement. Now, you hear that noise. Something drove the squirrel. Oh, there's one. So you see how sound and movement, well, and foot traffic can influence even natural populations. It's a fascinating study. I didn't get a lot of photos or a lot of pictures. Oh, here they come back. They're done with that noise down there. That one looks like he's having fun. Oh, here again, they're feeding them. Again, we're talking about a natural thing that people do. I do sometimes feed the squirrels. But they're in the city. And so they're more prone to be city squirrels. Now, it would be interesting to take a city squirrel and move it into the country. I would not do that. That's like the prime directive. You do not take city squirrels and you put them in the country. They're like, hey, where's my... Like I said before, they'd be like, where's my espresso? It's like, yeah, it's at the grocery store, the Pomida. Go get it. Or it's at the Lutheran church in the basement with all the ladies. That kind of squirrel will never survive there. But this albino got chased by another. And you see how city squirrels can be captivated by, people feeding them. And then they become, well, it's interesting. And, I mean, I can make some comparison to other cross-cultural studies. I won't, though. And this really isn't a study. This is an observation. So maybe this is the beginning part. Or maybe the beginning part was, does the elusive albino squirrel go outside natural territory? He's watching me. I think he knows I'm talking about him. The other thing that, well, animal traffic, dogs and sometimes I've seen cats in this. Hold on, the screen went dark. One day I'll fix that so it doesn't do that. So, yes, again, this is at the base of the tree right now, looking. I don't know, deciding to venture out for more, or if it's going, And the albino squirrel tends to keep its tail more arched. More arched. Well, and again, it's fluffier tail than most of the other squirrels. And I have never seen an albino squirrel with city mange. You know how some squirrels get mange and their fur looks a little scruffy in the summertime or in the springtime? No, you've never seen an albino one with mangy, fur. Most, they're similar. No, they're climbing the pines over there. I used to be better at naming that type of pine. Still fascinated. So once people feed squirrels, then people become a variable in squirrel behavior. So then they see people as part of the, hey, there's my meal. So they become more friendly. They expect food. Now, this is okay if you have squirrels in an urban setting. But again, I would never do this. But if you took one of these squirrels and put them in the country, you may just squirrel. Sure, there's basic instincts. I mean, not the movie. Even though that was pretty good. I don't see squirrels playing that part, though. It might be hard, though, to consider what... I often think about when they capture and release animals. What happens? Do those animals have their natural homing instincts and then they do migrations towards their capture spot? I mean, sometimes they were moving them thousands of miles away. They did that to bears sometimes. They would capture them and move them. It was not a good practice. You know, and coyotes. Well, and otters. They did that to otters sometimes. They would capture an otter and be like, here's your new home. And be like, ah! I was looking around on the ground, too, to see if I could find what they were foraging for. Or what they may have been eating. And, you know, of course, if you're going to come to the sit by a tree, just realize there's probably been dog pee on there. I'm not really afraid. I mean, I don't want to ruin your day about sitting in the ground and sitting on the grass, but there's probably been dog pee in there. Oh, here's one. And I really enjoy it when they stand on their hind legs and then they look around. It reminds me of meerkats, almost. Oh, this one's coming closer. Oh, here. Well, of course, I only use what I have to make films. And so right now I have this, you know, weird camera. But I really like it. It just sets the mood. Well, and there's a certain tone that you get from that I don't know. It's really fascinating. The white one seems to be still by itself. It's... Well, I'm in this project, and I'm by the water. And we're going to talk about water. I don't know why. Yeah, I like the spot that I sit on, though, down here when I come here. I will talk later. Maybe the elusive... it's not elusive around here. It's commonplace. It's only elusive if you don't see it very often. Or if it doesn't show itself to you. I'm sure some people have never seen an albino squirrel. What a life they're missing. I would make it a point to see an albino squirrel once in my life. It's amazing. But then again, I'll talk in a minute.